Hey, my friends on Instagram. I just wanted to let you know I am gonna be starting up my YouTube channel again. Uh, it's called The Jazz Musician's Voice. It's been about a year and a half since I did some interviews, but I wanted to let you know like COVID is over, plenty of jazz festivals this summer, and you know, I do this in my spare time. I've got plenty of interviews that I'm going to be doing this summer. Um, Definitely check it out. Oh yeah, my friend Cass is saying he wants to join. Let's do it. Cass is a friend of mine from a long time ago.
Jonah, what up, man? Been a minute.
What's up, man? Yeah,
Nashville,
like
huh?
Cass and I did an interview like almost 2 years ago now.
Well,
And
we've known each other since we were kids, man. Since high school, man.
yeah, yeah, we've
How
known
both of
each
us
other
have
a
used.
long time.
I mean, jazz
And,
is so important. I mean, both of us use jazz differently. I'm like a record producer, and I've worked, I've worked with people mostly hip hop inspired jazz music. You know,
yeah, like Cass and I used to play gigs together in New York, and we went to Litchfield Jazz Camp together.
every Monday, pull up. I need you to come up every Monday. I host a weekly gig, and Wednesday in New York.
Yeah, you know what?
I like the
Part
next.
of what I'm doing with this video is letting people know I'm going to be in New York. Anybody who wants to be part of the series, whether you're a younger musician or you're an established musician, should definitely get in touch with me because I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in Montreal. I might try to make it to Newport as well. Here in Burlington right now, we have the Jazz Festival.
Yeah.
George Clinton is going to be here on Friday. That should
Wow.
be great.
That's incredible.
So,
Legend.
yeah, yeah, it's good to see you though, man. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
you getting major music plays now.
Yeah, no, I hustle it all, man. I never box things in. Miles is still my hero. Like,
Yep,
Miles
Miles,
is
and
my
I
hero.
listen to Miles quite frequently, but I just posted some of my exercise workout, and I always listen to 80s music because it gets me really going. I check out what gets me going, and I just put Madonna on like loop, and I was running faster.
Did you see Ron Carter's interview that he did during the pandemic? Like, he would interview, like, talk to everybody from Herbie to
Yeah,
the Lilo show. I mean, he's talked to everybody, and he's still touring.
yep.
Ron
Yeah,
Carter,
Ron is,
like, you know,
you know, I gotta tell you, like, anybody who sees me doing my workouts and stuff, I'm definitely inspired by Ron because, Ron is up at 4 in the morning, 5 days a week. He's doing personal training, and he's like, what, 80, 85 years old.
and still killing it, and still killing it with Reedy Rosnes and Jimmy Green, like these legends, like he's still
Yes,
killing.
I saw that band
No, he played in my
at
house.
the Peekskill Jazz Festival. I saw that band, and you know what? Like, something. Shout out to Ron Carter because something that like happens every time I'm at a nightclub here in Vermont. There's going to be one or two songs with Ron Carter samples, and everybody's like, yeah, and I'm like, that's my teacher.
Well, the other thing
You
is,
know.
like, Tribe, how Q-Tip sampled Ron Carter for how they used Red Clay. That's the beauty of hip hop. Like, they basically paid tribute and evolved it. I feel like the jazz community could really, be less political and be more involved with the hip hop community. And there should be more dialogue, like the MCs with the DJ and the jazz band. Like, it shouldn't
there's
be.
only uh, there's only two types of music, good and bad music. I mean, like,
Well, I'm in Nashville
I'll
right
listen to all kinds of music.
I'm in Nashville right now, and you see, like, you go to Broadway and you see bar after bar after musician after musician. There is a community, like, of all these guys playing gigs right next to each other. Like 20, 20, like, it's too much. It's like, too many people to catch, it's kind of, and it's
Yeah,
like,
and like
It's, I mean, I came here more from networking with a label that I was down.
If I go to a nightclub, I want to know what are people listening to in different areas, and like the DJs in Vermont are playing completely different music than the DJs in like Saratoga or in Montreal or in New York, and you
Or
know
now.
these are things that I definitely want to explore. Like, but I also, you know, my jazz musicians voice series, like I want to just make it the musician's voice because there's so many guys I want to interview who are like maybe just pop or I mean I have a good friend up here who's like a rock musician. Um, you know, his name is like Edward John, but he has a band called like uh, Hotel Vermont, or you know, he does his own stuff and he plays all the instruments, puts it together as rock music. So he introduced me to a lot of like 80s music that I hadn't heard before, and then I was watching Miami Vice with him and learning about all this stuff, you know.
The other thing, you know, so my collaborators, the guys who discovered me, Static Selecta and Terminology. Well, Static Selecta is from Exeter, New Hampshire. He's from, you know, he's right. I mean, he grew up in Lawrence, but I mean, he was born in Lawrence,
Yeah.
but went with New Hampshire, stayed in Boston for a little bit before he moved to Brooklyn, and then that's where I met him for the last 15 years. And he's really, you know, I mean, if it wasn't for Static Selecta, we wouldn't have the careers of Action Bronson or Joey Badass.
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
also plays it.
I believe Joey Badass is playing at Montreal.
Yeah, but probably with him, Montreal Jazz Festival. I'm not surprised. There, I went up there. I know I know a producer up there. You have to speak French though.
Yeah, yeah, you have to speak French. I mean, like part of it for me, like if I'm going to a nightclub, I'm not really going there to drink. I'm going there to uh, listen to the music and see
Yeah,
what hip music do I hear, and like how do
yeah,
people dance to that music, and what do they like and what do
yeah.
they not like? Because it's amazing, like the difference with a DJ with a dance floor. The room might be completely empty if the DJ sucks and is not playing the right music. But as soon as the right DJ comes, the whole room is full and it's packed.
Right band. I mean, the other thing is like since there's so many bands going on, you see some bands playing for like 5 people, some bands playing for a full room. Like in Nashville, like the bigger, the better the venue, there is better packed. But you're like competing with every single person going there. So it's like, you know, I mean, I could go there right now and see 30 festival going on. But it's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
And then, you know, like when it comes down to it, you could be sitting from your home and checking out different music playing, you know.
that's
It's
where everybody's going. I mean, especially with the merging of the metaverse, and especially the way that the technology is really going. We're having the hybrid music space and being able to be more creative about how to perform and to create a more of experience for somebody listening to the music. Besides, that's really where it's going. Like entertainers and musicians now have to think about ways of providing experience for somebody to really interact with them rather than just thinking about the music that they put out. Like, because everybody's putting out music. What are you making special? What does that make you special about you? You know, I mean, do you have a plan of releasing? Do you have opportunities to get into sync and things like that? I mean, and sync is really important, but it's like at the same time, it's like that's what is really going on is creating experiences for the person that you're interacting with thanks to these platforms. It hasn't been easier to really, you know, I mean, to really interact with people. And I think that's the whole entire thing is how hungry are you really to really make this really work for you?
and there's also something like I absolutely forgot about like music. During COVID, we all were inside and cooped up and not really able to actually be there and have live music.
But I mean, at the same time, that's when that's when I was able to get discovered. I got more
Sure.
traction. I got 200,000 on this platform.
But there's nothing like being there live in a nightclub and feeling that rhythm and those beats. You know, this is something I'll do. Like, if you see what I've actually got in my apartment, like I've got a sub here, I've got speakers. That's what I do sometimes in my apartment. Like I play music loud because I like it loud. You know.
I'm mobile speakers right now and then and hot so it's like, but
Yeah.
them, like it's not about like just about realistically, it's about connecting and being able, because music is connection. And there's new things. I mean, especially with the digital world and the NFT space. There's a festival for NFT space, digital art, and the metaverse, and the collaboration between music is the next, and then video is the next reality, and how that's going to be enduring.
Oh, yeah.
That's really going to be the future of how the interaction of the media is really going to play all together. It's not the music, it's the art, it's the entertainment, the media, everything together.
And I think like the
So-
younger generation, it's really not our generation, but the younger generation, they're hip to like
Some are, depends.
Fortnite and all these other video games. And like I remember Travis Scott, he had his like virtual avatar, and if you go on YouTube, half of his videos are just this avatar dancing around. Like that's in the future, definitely.
Well, I mean, he's definitely part. I mean, that's part of the. I mean, he's playing to the future. I mean, there's definitely that aspect. I think the other aspect is that the younger the next generation and people want the collaboration. Like we grew up in the height of the hip hop. Hip hop was really growing, and we were studying. I mean, that's where I was going, anyways. I mean, hip hop has played such a huge influence. I mean, we're both about the same age. Like, I mean, so it's like we were, 94, 90, when like the height of like Biggie Smalls's and Jazz Mataz and Guru, they're basically getting more popular as we were growing up. So until with the evolution and 2011 with the Action and Joey, and then 2012 and Kendrick taking jazz and hip hop together has been really pushing forward the jazz and the musician together, which is really the most amazing thing. And I think that's really where that's the reason why I feel like having an isolated viewpoint and conservative viewpoint that maybe some people that even I respect, like I would love to see Wynton Marsalis collaborate, do a tribute to DJ Premier. That's what I think has to happen.
So certain people are gonna just be who they are, and they're gonna like their stuff.
But I think it's for the culture. Oh, the next Duke Ellington, because Duke Ellington was making music for the people all the time, right? So if Wynton Marsalis, and I saw Wynton Marsalis do a tribute to Duke Ellington, incredible. Like the musicians in his band are incredible. Like the best guys who play the horn, like amazing. Like Wynton himself, but his brother worked with DJ Premier. Branford worked with DJ Premier.
Yeah.
And they actually lived together back in Brooklyn, like in the early 90s.
A lot of people don't know this, but like Moku Miller was aware of Jay Dilla and collaborating with Dilla. And like, I mean, there's a lot of interesting music collaborations that people don't know about.
I mean, Freddie Hubbard getting sampled by Tip, like for Red Clay. I mean, they could go on. I mean, Q-Tip is definitely aware. DJ Premier, I mean, it's like, I mean, jazz and hip hop. The jazz led to hip hop.
Yeah, and we're
blues.
definitely gonna have to definitely send me a message, because we'll have to talk about more of your progress. And also, I will be in New York, so we'll probably have to.
Well, every Monday I host a weekly jam where I have both the jazz guys who play standards, whoever wants to come in. I don't like to limit somebody and I don't like to limit somebody playing. I don't want to be disrespectful to somebody either. Like, if they can play, they can play. If they can't play, they can still jam. They can still come through.
Yeah.
And jazz.
The other thing, this is a unpopular or whatever. I've gotten into arguments with certain cats over Facebook, but I don't believe in that Black American music bullshit. Music is what it is. Jazz, the term jazz is the term, and anybody can play jazz. And at this point, it's so beyond black music or where it comes from. Everybody's contributed,
I mean, hip hop. If you really think about it, I mean, you really want to be. If I want to really be the only white person in the room, and I have been. I've been going to the hip hop shit, and even then, the trap shit, the drill shit, where in deep Brooklyn. No, it's not really deep Brooklyn. It's downtown Brooklyn. But I mean, there's you could count how many white people there are. Realistically, it's not about that, because the beauty of American music is that everybody is able to. It's really, we're able to use music to heal and show similarities between the styles. That's beauty. What makes hip hop, not the difference. The difference is what they want to tell. But even in Nashville, they have the Country Hall of Music Hall of Fame, and then they have the African American Music Hall of Fame, which is equally. I think they're both. I went to both of them today, and they're both inspiring. I was kind of remarking about how
music has changed over the time, because I remember when I was 18, me and my cousins used to drive uh, middle of the night to get to this nightclub in Albany called Sneaky Pete's, and we
Yeah.
would see the grimiest hip hop music. And what would happen is, like, I mean, this is a Instagram, so maybe it's a little hip. What would happen is all the like teenage 18-year-old girls would go there to dance and grind with the thug rap guys, and it was like a combination. And then what happened is the mayor of the town or somebody figured it out that that was happening, and they shut the club down because they didn't like the mixing of, or the interracial mixing or whatever that was going on there.
Absolutely.
That happens, man.
I mean, because politics is really, I mean, you know, because racism is inherently evil. Like, I mean, and that's it. How can you? But not even that. But politics is really, I mean, politics has been in the art industry for a long time, and it's beyond music. The art business, like digital and you know, real art business and real estate. But the thing is, the most successful situations is when everybody works together. So, I mean, business, we're now the whole entire thing is, there has been streams and now like CDs and streams, and the whole entire thing is now, but the whole entire beauty of Instagram and Facebook is that it connects us together more so than ever.
Absolutely. You know, like I'll definitely get tips from you to build my Instagram, because, you know, like
what Arturo Farrell was doing with the virtual orchestra, and what the jazz, what Chad Lefkowitz Brown and other cats were doing with their virtual orchestra and Steve Feifke. And I really wish, and maybe, and this is what I'm probably, and once I get back to New York, I'm going to start talking to them about this, because I own the rights to or I have control of the rights and then opportunities to do a tribute to Joey Badass's and Action Bronson's and Static Selector's music. So what I want to do is make my own big band tribute to the hip hop, instead of getting Wynton Marsalis. I'm going to show that myself, because that's what the world needs. We need to see both the big band and the jazz and the orchestra, as well as what the hip hop really is, because that's the beauty of New York. That's the beauty of the future of the music, and that's really what's going to save everybody together.
Absolutely. You know, something that has come about, like, for whatever reason, I kind of snub Spotify, because I just don't like the whole whatever was done with Spotify. But I like Apple Music, because if I ever want to hear some artist, I can just look them up on Apple Music, and everything is there. I pay $10 a month, and I can find whatever I want, you know.
You as well, like, they're equally as better. I mean, it's just about, I mean, look, I mean, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, they all they all have music services. You have to leverage the credits. Now, I have my credits with Joey and them in Action. Now those projects stream to billion. So what I'm doing is utilizing that via Muso.ai to create more communication between me and directly with the Facebook and Amazon and Apple and all the stocks that have opportunities that use my music, because I can make the argument that my music with Joey Badass and Action Bronson was basically, it attracts them people to utilize their services. So, but before, you were selling CDs. I mean, still, I mean, it's like, so you're going through a third party to make your CD. Before making CDs, you were making records. You're going through many third parties to get yourself into real studio. You know, I was at Elvis' studio today. You know, it's like the real thing. They do in one take. You know, no mess ups, no, like, you know, real then. Now you have computer, and you have Logic and GarageBand and quantization, and, you know, I mean, it's good for for some things, but I'm just saying the technology has always affected the music. So if you're not paying attention to where the technology is going, you can't be just making music anymore, is my position, if you really want to make money out of this.
Yeah, you know, like, there's plenty of avenues and routes, you know, like, I'm really excited for this summertime. You know, speaking of which, like, let's be in touch, but I'm gonna get going, because I have to.
Jonah, was great.
Downtown Burlington has like some music tonight, like the Music of Weather Report. I'm gonna go check that out. There's a club called Nectar's in Burlington. That's where Fish, the original Fish, started out, Trey's
from there. Trey and what's his name is from there.
Yep.
And also who else from Burlington? I mean, besides Ben and Jerry's and Bernie Sanders.
Well, we should definitely have you up here, because there is a whole like vibrant hip hop community.
I did play
and
there.
there's some
Another,
Vermont rappers.
yeah,
There's a friend of mine. He goes by Mavstar.
Matt Star. Yeah, I've heard of Matt Star.
Yeah.
My friend. He's from his name is Nefarious or Neff, produced by
There's
Neff,
another friend of mine. I actually
producer.
know him because I used to go to the gas station after the club, and he was working there and putting his music, and that's IDOS.
Okay,
And
cool.
he raps. He kind of raps in the style of like Jedi Mind Tricks,
Oh yeah.
Vinny Paz type of stuff, you know.
But yeah,
But
man, there's always cats to making music. You just have to find them. Like, I mean, some places have a lot of people. Like Nashville has billions of people. New York has billions of people make music. I mean, LA, Miami, there's huge scenes. Miami, New York is is still a concentrated scene. There is a lot of, I mean, although there's similarities, it's mostly it's all connected. And then I
yeah.
mean, Nashville,
You know,
Atlanta.
obviously I like New York, but I also like the convenience of Vermont. Like I
Oh,
don't have to sit in traffic for hours, and I can park
I,
right behind my building, and I'm paying way less than anybody in New York.
I know. It's
You know,
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
but yeah, let's definitely be in touch, man.
But but New York has so many different opportunities to take advantage of. So it's like you have to be able to, you have to be see what is going on. I mean, although like working remotely with the music industry, like production, I could be anywhere. Doesn't matter. Like if I'm in New York or if I'm in LA. But I mean, still in New York, there's some great opportunities that you don't want to sleep. And it's like sometimes when you get called for these, you have to take them, and especially if you already made money or if you already have like partnerships with them, you might want to stay there because other cities are harder to break in if you don't know people. That's just the nature of it.
Yeah,
If you know people,
yeah.
it's hard.
You don't know people like it, but I will tell you, like
To grind work. You have to grind out. Just the nature of it, because everybody wants to play, right? Doesn't matter if you're in small towns are easier to get yourself out of because there are less people, less more opportunities for you. But the whole entire thing is like when you go into these major towns like Nashville, London, New York, LA, Miami, you have to understand how those cities work. And it's just, I mean, just the nature of it. It's just, I mean,
you know, a lot of people don't know this about me, but like I used to work in catering in New York, and I worked the biggest parties, the Met Costume Ball, the Institute Ball. I hung out with Kanye West, and I like freestyled with him. Like I was there when Amber, his girlfriend, was there, and like I've served Mila Kunis liquor. I've done all that stuff, and I won't forget that. And it definitely shaped my view of things.
music though. I mean, it's good. I think it's better that Kanye takes a break from music, anyways.
Well, see, the thing is, like, for me, it's not even considered a break from music because, like, I'm constantly listening to music all the time. In my insurance job, I'm listening to music. After work, I'm listening to music. In my car, I'm listening to music. At home, I'm listening to music. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still in the music world. It's just that a nice day job certainly helps you to push your agenda forward.
For sure. What are you doing right now?
I work in insurance, in Jameson Insurance Agency. It's like part of the Hill Group.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, that's a whole process. Enables you to have an apartment, a car, a lifestyle.
And I mean, and I invest in many different things, and I mean, I still get the most return. I mean, I just don't do music. I invest in music, real estate, and tech all the time, which is the reason why. I mean, I think they're all connected, but I mean, in real estate less so because it's a little more science and experience regarding how buildings work and designs and estimating and project. But there's similarities to production in real estate and project management, but like you have to find other ways of making money because it is an investment, unfortunately, because everybody wants to do it now. It wasn't as, back when we were coming up, it was a little easier because you had to really have talent and you had to have training, you have to have mastery. Now it's easier because of technology. So you have to find other ways and other things to do besides.
Oh yeah. You know how many of these like so-called pop stars now are just put behind a beat and all of a sudden
I mean, it's about the song. I mean, Ed Sheeran's an incredible songwriter. I mean, Justin Bieber, incredible songwriter. He's a genius.
I
I mean,
mean,
he's he's,
I can tell you when I'm at the nightclubs,
he's done
uh,
the
we got like, that Georgia song with Justin Bieber, Peaches. We got a lot of Doja Cat. We
yeah
got a lot of, you know, any of those like pop young stars, Olivia Rodriguez.
yeah yeah.
Uh,
And
but
also
then,
yeah
there's also a DJ. He's a great DJ here in Vermont. His name is Craig Mitchell, and
yeah
he's playing all of that like 80s house stuff that like is very clearly New York, but a guy here in Vermont, which is cool. You know, you can go into that club and you can almost feel like you're in New York. You know, and like now that COVID's over, uh, Vermont is really not that far from New York when you think about it,
no,
because the airport is 10 minutes from my house, and you could take a flight to New York for $100. And then the train station is 15 minutes, and you can take that train to New York, 10-hour trip. I mean, it in a sense, it's an advantage to live in the country because you can go out in nature, you can go swimming,
I
you
should
can
come
do
up.
a lot of stuff that you
Yeah,
wouldn't be able to do in New York.
I should come. You should come down to me. We'll stay. And I will come up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we should do something. I mean, every Monday, if you're available, I'll be playing gigs the whole entire summer. So we could just come through. I mean, just play. Come.
I'll definitely say hello to my sister. She just joined and was watching.
All right.
No, but see, my
My guy,
sisters
still.
are
Oh,
city,
nice. My guy, Jeff.
my
At,
sisters are like city twins, if you will. They're all over the place, but one lives in Chicago and one lives in Boston, and now both of them are going to be in Boston. But if you turn on their Instagram any time of the day, they're either in Miami or LA or New York or wherever. They do a lot of like running and track and fitness, you know.
good for them.
Yeah.
Salute.
You know, I'm just the amateur when I post about my running and stuff. My sisters are running like 35-mile marathons. They're crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's health is wealth, man. It's just all about staying, healthy and.
But also, like, I figure like we have the same exact genetics. So if my sisters are able to do these long-term things, I could do it too.
They just don't stop playing bass.
Oh, don't worry, man.
Don't
You
stop.
can see this. You can see this right here. This is the bass section.
Oh, you got both. You probably got the keyboard.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, I have a. I have my the keyboard I have here is like a Moog MIDI thing, like
Nice.
all of that, man.
Yeah, I got my small mini keyboard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's like, I mean, I can go out and hear some guys, but it's like, I mean, I'm here for, I'm here doing business, so it's like, I don't really.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. If you really must know my thoughts about things, since I've been out in New York for a while, there's a lot of cats who are just trying to make a living in music and make it. And that's where you have a problem, because a lot of them, like, I see them essentially prostitute themselves playing on the streets, doing stuff that, like, playing these like $50 gigs. My good friend Spike Wilner said it exactly. Do this music as an art form. Pursue it as an art form and make your money another way. And even, David Binney, when I did an interview with him, he was talking to me about this. He's like, oh yeah, I took a day job for 10 years and I took that money and I was able to study with George Coleman. I was able to study with Bob Minster. I was able to study with all these sax players. And my point is, like, there's many ways to enjoy and do this music without necessarily working your butt off. But I will tell you, like,
You have to think smarter, not harder.
one of our peers, I don't know if you remember Wenzel McGowan from Moonhooch.
Yeah.
Wenzel and I used to play in the park together. And
Yeah.
I remember he used to take his saxophone and he's like, oh, one day I'm going to be famous. I'm going to do this. And like, before I knew it, they made that band Moonhooch and they were performing all over the world, doing their tours and stuff. But like, the funny thing is, like, a lot of these people on the come up we were around them. I used to go to Cleopatra's Needle and jam with John Batiste.
Yeah.
And now look at Batiste, like he's like
Remember
100 most influential people in the
Robert,
world, all that stuff.
Robert Glasper,
But I used to remember he's just a person. I was there with him.
I
And
remember
the other person is
Robert Glasper in 2008. I met him again in 2020 and 2010. Like, I mean, Robert Glasper now is Grammy. I mean, Robert Glasper, bro, he's super incredible.
Oh yeah, Glasper. One time Robert Glasper came to Williamstown, Mass. He got lost, and like he hung out with us for a little while. Like I showed him around, and
where
that happened. And the other, I mean,
where?
I'm not gonna speak names, but like Eric Lewis. I used to remember jamming with him at Cleopatra's Needle, and he used to tell me exactly what he was going to be doing. And sure enough, he did it, you know? Like, so everybody's going to do what they're going to do, you know? Like,
but then
I think there's more to life than just playing jazz gigs. That's why, like, I'm doing what I'm doing, you know? But,
I mean, I think you can learn so much from every single genre of music. And I think if you, I like yourself thinking you do one specific art form, you're limiting yourself. And honestly, as a musician,
let me ask you this: Did you ever know that? So you know Drake, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he comes from no talent. He doesn't know anything."
Oh,
Just go look at his dad. His dad played
that's
country music, and his uncle is Larry Graham.
Yep.
Who's Larry Graham? Larry Graham is Sly and the Family Stone.
Yep. You gave him exactly. Yep. Yeah. Nope. I know. I mean,
I mean, essentially, Drake actually comes from royalty of the art form.
I mean, I knew that when I mean, my guy. I mean, he headlined Purchase's Culture Shock Music Festival in 2010, but nobody knew him, and the whole entire crowd from the people from other places came through. It was so crowded just to see this guy perform. I was like, yo, if everybody's coming to this place to see this guy perform, and there's already 20 million people performing, that guy's gonna blow up. Everybody else is not, and that's the nature of it. Just to be on that same show, and I got on that same festival, and it was cool that I got rep, you know. But I mean,
I'll tell you, that's the goal right there of Canada, and I would definitely like to see you go up to Toronto, because
Toronto's a great place. I love
Toronto. If you go to Montreal for the Jazz Festival, I was fortunate enough to get a press pass. I could go into any venue or any club. I went to these hip hop underground places where the celebrities like Rihanna and Drake and all of them were going, because what they do, they take the 6-hour trip from Toronto to go shopping in Montreal because it's cheaper. And they come there, and then they hang out there, and then they go back to Toronto.
Yeah.
But obviously, Drake, the big person behind Drake, the producer is Noah Shabib, 40,
my guy.
Yeah, and
he's super.
I'm not ashamed to. I used to be like more ashamed to say that I like Drake, but now I'm not really. Like
you like what you like. Why should
some of his music is classic? Like,
I mean, I was saying this. I mean, the one thing about, you mentioned Spike, and I was like, I mean, Spike Wilner. And I think that all should have a hip hop night. Honestly, I think there should be more dialogue between the jazz and the hip hop community. There should be, and there should have been from day realistically, because having the segregation is actually is wrong, and also, and I think, and unfortunately, in a racist kind of way, because not liking something for a personal taste is like saying I don't like somebody because of their ethnicity, unfortunately, and I think that that's
hard, because like
so
I can't.
And they're coming from different places, but the point is, hip hop took jazz and was able to simplify it to create more relatable music instead of being more about the musician.
These guys are like there are guys in New York that are like purists, but I'll tell you, like
that. But then why? I don't just necessarily think that those policies should be allowed in the music. Now I
could tell you like how diverse my musical tastes are, because like at one point I'll have Brian Wilson on the radio, Beach Boys, or great. Then I'll have Tame Impala, or then I'll have Madonna or Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Or then I'll have Ron Carter or Milt Jackson, Sunflower. I play all kinds of music. I play classical music too. Like the sad part is a lot of our peers, or younger, like if I meet some girls at a club, they have no idea who these people are. They have no idea, and all they know is Doja Cat or they know whatever is being
You have to go.
pumped on the radio.
You have to come down to Nashville and experience this place. I mean, it's like I did this today. I mean, it's crazy that the African American Museum of Music is and Country Hall of Music is in Nashville. Yet there's not a hip hop museum in New York. I'm just saying there has to be a change regarding it. And when I looked up that, I was like, I told the people there that they should actually help partner and develop. Now the museum is new, unfortunately, as well. But the point is the segregation and policies and different policies in the arts is obviously wrong. And the whole entire thing is these social connections. This social media connects us all, and this is the whole entire point of social media.
You may have
And the point of music is to heal and create harmony, because it's spiritual connected, because it's all connected from God. Because what else?
I mean, check this out. Like, you may have seen on my Instagram, I posted some stuff when I was at like an ASAP Ferg concert shooting that, and I was like around that stuff. I have to give props to my father, because when I was like 17, 18, I was doing hip hop and I was making rap. But I had gotten a pistol whipped with a gun before, like somebody fired off the gun, stuff like that. My dad told me, he's like, I work at Berkshire Farm around these kids who are the rappers, and this, stay away from that. That's not who you are. And thankfully, I didn't do hip hop, because look at all these young guys who are murdered.
I mean, that's what
amazing, like rappers that are on the come up, and they get.
That's what happens when you put yourself out like that. If you do it for the love and you do it for their, I mean, my heroes are still Dre and Eminem. I just wanted to be Dre and Eminem my whole entire life, but I mean, instead of going, I went about it in a more methodical sense. That's why I came from classical, it came from the church, actually, went from church to classical, church to jazz, because I loved Gershwin. And I was like, I love Eminem and Dr. Dre as well. So then I got into indie rock, pop music, because I knew it all together. The beauty of hip hop is combining everybody together, not the street violence, not the gang violence and pissing people off and getting into fights and and not knowing street code and not listening to Biggie Smalls' 10 Crack Commandments, basically. I mean, and not being trill and not being cool. I mean, look, I'm part of billion stream projects, not million stream, billion. And I can say that because I just talked to them, and I talked to my lawyer, and they gave it to me. So now I can legally say that I'm part of billion streamed projects, which are trying to yield for everybody's improvement. So we can all yield for that together. That's the whole entire thing. So I mean, that's the beauty of hip hop. Now, if I was like only thinking about one place kind of music and playing jazz, I probably would not have success, honestly.
Yeah, you have to.
And it's like I don't really understand.
You have to branch out. Like, there are some guys who are like these super conservative jazz people,
but then they playing jazz though.
I mean, you've seen my infamous interview on YouTube. If anybody doesn't know what the interview is, I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but you've seen that interview where he's like super conservative, and that's what they want to do. For me,
wrong though.
Music is a fusion. I love everything. Isaac Hayes, for example.
Isaac Hayes is the king of
the Temptations. Any of that stuff, I'm pumping it. And this is music that's like 50, 60, 70 years old.
I mean, not even that. Bob James, I got to play in my music and meet Bob James. He's still killing it. 75, he just played the Blue Note with Talib Kweli, man, and Slick Rick. Like, I mean, and it's like, it shouldn't just be the Blue Note that's hosting the beauty of jazz and hip hop. Like, I played the Blue Note with Black Thought of the Roots, right? And Static Selected. I played the Blue Note. Got to play the Blue Note. Like, I mean, I played the Blue Note my own way instead of doing jazz way, and like I wasn't getting called for the jazz gigs. I was getting called for the gigs. I wanted to be a producer. I didn't want to be. I still love playing keyboards.
Guys, I'm gonna end this here. We'll have another one of these. Be in touch with me, Cas. We'll have another one. But I gotta get going. Gotta catch some more music.